you involved in the Keeping Tabs projects?
I was in first grade when I remember they started bringing these glass cubes into our classrooms and having us bring in the pop tabs and saying we're going to fill these, and we had like little classroom competitions for it, and very competitive. So I'm like, okay, we're going to win this because that's how I viewed it. And I remember just throughout the years hearing about it and learning more about what it meant, because I think when it first started I didn't really grasp the full meaning of what it stood for, because when you're that young, people don't really want to tell you about tragic things. And then as I got older, I kind of started to grasp the significance of it.
What memory stands out in your mind about this project?
Probably like when I was in like second grade, having like classroom competitions for it, and then just like a few years ago when the sculpture went up, and it was just so incredible to see something from like my childhood be so fully realized and have it, watch it make an impact on the community around it.
How did you feel about the project while you were a student at CDS?
I think it was a little like I said, it was difficult to understand at first. So I felt like it was just like, oh, here's a community building thing, because I didn't really get the historical side of it. They're just like, oh, this represents Jewish people. I'm like, okay, cool if you say so. And then, being older, like in 7th and 8th grade, really seeing it as seeing it for the significance that it has. So seeing each pop tab as, a person that it represents, and really kind of watching it come together as a symbol for what was lost.
What was the community effort in terms of collecting, counting, and moving tabs?
I was never involved in the counting of, because that sounds stressful, but I remember collecting it. I remember, needing, asking my parents if we could get more soda than usual, because I wanted to get the tabs, because I wanted to win the competition. And I remember, collecting them personally, bringing them to class, and everybody having them, and we'd go up and we'd put them in the cubes, and it was just, I feel like that was a really big thing for our class to like come together, and we all wanted to get that pizza party. So.
How do you think the project impacted the CDS community and the broader community?
I think, like I said, when the sculpture went up, and seeing so many years of work and effort realized, I think that was really incredible, because so many years spent collecting tabs, and all of a sudden there's an actual sculpture here that we can go and see, and that's getting this kind of media attention. I think just all those years of effort made the community really think about what it meant to be putting our efforts towards something like this.
How has working on this project influenced you, your outlook on life, or your worldview?
I think it definitely contributed to understanding the importance of remembrance, and understanding how little actions, kind of like how small a pop tab is, seeing something so small go to something so big. I think you can kind of relate that to the community efforts. So, everybody put in a small amount of effort, and then we end up with something that's, much more grand. And I think remembrance is the same thing. It's the small things you do throughout the day, throughout your life, that really contribute to like a legacy of remembrance and historical significance.
What advice do you have for students working on Keeping Tabs 2.0?
I think to remember that what you're doing is really important, that you're connecting this symbol of remembrance to a much larger audience. You're connecting the world to it, in a way. That's what the internet is for. So you're connecting this like local symbol of remembrance to an entire world that should also be making similar efforts.
What can we do to keep the sculpture alive for CDS students today?
You guys aren't collecting tabs anymore, but I think the fact that you live near it, work near it, learn near it, I think that definitely contributes to your understanding of what it symbolizes, because you get to see it like every day, every other day, you know, and you get to think about what it means and about all the effort that went into it. So, you know, remember, you know, us second graders all, you know, counting our tabs when you walk by it, and just remember that, you know, you can do something similar, not only with Keeping Tabs 2.0, but just in the spirit of keeping small memories alive for the next generation.
How can the sculpture teach young people not only about the Holocaust, but also about prejudice, injustice, and persecution today?
Now that's a question. What can it teach us about prejudice? And I think, you know, with so many things going on in the world today, you know, to say the least, I think this symbol of our persecution can really inspire us to take action in the plight of others. So, you know, while we're busy remembering, you know, what happened to the Jewish people, to take that, you know, that sadness or whatever emotions you feel and turn it into action. So instead of just, you know, letting it sit in your heart or your mind, to take that spirit and to take, you know, the things you've learned from survivors you've talked to, or just the memory of the people that those pop tabs represent, and think about, you know, what should be done in the face of injustice. So take the Keeping Tabs project and turn it into keeping tabs on modern situations, and monitor what's going on around the world, and think about what you can do to prevent tragedies.